Hello everyone and welcome back to You Are the Judge. Today we are working on the case of Albert Nuron versus the Kobardde Prison Administration. I'm sure this one, just like the other ones, will be interesting. I have mail and somebody's calling me. Hello? Oh, it's the Prime Minister. It was Richard, right? Well, that's just rude. Yes, Prime Minister. I didn't want your first meeting to be about such a matter. I don't quite understand. The public is eagerly awaiting today's verdict in the case. I have full faith that you will do what is right for our country and won't prolong this issue. Frankly, I don't quite understand what you're saying. It seems I need to be a bit clearer. You won't punish a government institution for doing what's necessary, will you? What? The verdict in the case will be determined in the courtroom. Making such a request is highly inappropriate. I must have misunderstood you. Of course, the reputation of our country's institution is much more important. Okay, we're gonna say the verdict of the case will be determined in the courtroom. You now know my decision. We will talk after. Okay. We'll talk if necessary? Why does that make me feel like if I mess this up, I'm gonna get fired? The defendant from your previous case has approached us believing that your decision was incorrect. I had a feeling that the last one I probably just didn't do right, but whatever. After conducting a detailed examination, we've determined that you made an what is that word? Erroneous judgment? I've literally never seen that word in my life. Although the parties engaged in a violent altercation, it is not evidence that one of them killed the other. Making a decision without sufficient evidence is not correct. We emphasize the need for greater diligence in the future. Okay, well, get out of my face. He has a history of violence. He got into a heated argument. His pills that he takes were found in the system of the other person and then found dead. You're telling me that that's not cause or evidence? Why am I on the computer? You know what? Let's just go to the pre-trial. We're not gonna focus on yesterday. We're gonna focus on today. What is happening? Quite pleased with the acceptance they have received from the public, which indicates that they will soon have better conditions. Government loyalty is now 70%. Is that good? I don't even know if that's good or not. Welcome, welcome. Please be seated. Alright, as always, the defendant's attorney will, speak first. My client, okay, so she's representing the prison. Would like to remind that there are conditions that criminals must adhere to as stipulated by the law. The regulations prescribe punishment for prisoners who do not adhere by these conditions. Albert Nuron was found to have skipped a meal during the cafeteria hours and initiated a hunger strike, which led to his sentencing to solitary confinement. Starting a strike is prohibited according to the prison regulations, and the punishment is solitary confinement. Okay, yeah, you said that. There is no basis for the unfound claims of the plaintiff. Okay. So starting a strike in prison, you get solitary. Okay, makes sense. My client is serving his sentence at Kobardde Prison for the crime he committed. However, in recent days, an action has been taken, such as sentencing my client to solitary confinement, despite his not exhibiting any negative behavior. Didn't he start a strike? Like, starting any type of, like, rioting strike thing, isn't that bad? The prison administration has abused its authority during this process. My client has experienced psychological and I wasn't done reading that! Okay. Your Honor, the witness, Laura Martinez, has a close relationship with the prison warden, therefore it is not possible for her to respond impartially. We request that you reject her testimony as witness. Okay. If you agree to the objection made by the attorney, you must click the accept. Okay. Sure. If you can't make an impartial decision, you just get to sit in the crowd. Alright, Judgment Day. Is that... I lost $50. I lost $50! I'm the worst judge ever. Okay. Is this Albert? Dude, he's been doing freaking, like, push-ups and shit in prison. Okay. Let's finish reading this. Oh wait, I didn't get to finish this one. Such as sentencing my client to solitary confinement decides, no, the prison administration has abused its authority. During this process, my client has experienced psychological and physical distress. We are filing a complaint against the prison administration for this reason. Okay. So you started a strike and could have potentially caused a riot because everyone would have gotten hungry and upset. And the prison's like, you can't do that. Okay, although he did not exhibit any negative behavior his time in prison, claimed that he sentenced to solitary confinement, suffered psychological harm, and therefore filed a lawsuit. Alleged. He was subjected to inhumane treatment and that the prison administration unlawfully implemented its duties and responsibilities. The prison administration, on the other hand, stated that the prisoner was sentenced to solitary confinement because he did not comply with the necessary instructions and conditions, and there was no unlawful situation. Okay. So we have two, because we threw Laura out. Because she is very close with the warden. Provides information. Okay. Conditions of solitary confinement. Okay, so we have conditions of how the prisoners are and how the inmates live. So the inmates have been determined. It has been determined that the prisoner has not eaten for 3 days. It has been determined that the prisoner has initiated a hunger strike by refusing to eat. Wait, is this just like a one-person hunger strike, not like a bunch of people hunger strike? Because that's different. Despite the necessary warnings by prison staff, he continued to strike. It has been decided to examine the prisoner in the infirmary due to potential health issues. Okay. Solitary confinement. Oh, conditions. Inmates cannot pose a security threat to staff. Inmates cannot attempt to escape. Cannot engage in violent behavior, cannot initiate a hunger strike. That's literally in there, like word for word. Cannot participate in a riot or rebellion activities, cannot jeopardize their personal safety, cannot smuggle contraband within the prison, cannot continuously violate the rules. So he did 4, and because he never ate, he then was doing 6 and then 8. Because he continuously violated Rule 4. If I'm reading that right. Okay. This letter note. Indifferent, anxious, sloppy, respectful, anxious. Why are they both anxious? Okay. Alright, what's my law book? Prisoners may file a lawsuit in court against penalties imposed by the prison. Court assesses the legality and proportionality of the penalty. It may... Okay. Okay. Let's start talking. Albert, let's have you go first. What, oh. Okay, well, he does have a criminal record because he was in prison. What is his thing for? Murder. Okay. What were your behaviors? Oh my gosh. What were your behaviors before being sentenced to solitary confinement? I did not exhibit any negative behavior in prison. I followed all the rules. Are you lying to me? 'Cause, I read that you can't cause a hunger strike. Did you experience any illegal intervention during solitary confinement process? Certainly. However, since the witnesses presented to the court are from the prison administration, they will not mention it. Wait, every witness is from the prison? Did you have any intention on inciting a riot? Never! I never had such an intention. I am only defending my rights because I believe I did not deserve solitary confinement. Okay, well, you're not much of a chatterbox, but thank you. Okay, defendant. Why did the prisoner not eat during cafeteria hours and start hunger strike? Prisoner exhibited behavior contrary to prison discipline and initiated a hunger strike. Perhaps in a somewhat amusing way, he aimed to establish a power balance over the prison administration. But you will agree that this is not possible. Why do I feel like that did not even answer the question? But, okay. Is the regulation applied to the prisoner in compliance with the law, or was there any behavior that was not in accordance with the law? It is entirely in compliance, sir. As you know, there are certain provisions under Article 13 for such situations. The prison administration has used its authority within the framework of the regulations to maintain order. Article 13? This is not Article 13. Can I see Article 13? How is the situation of prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement? The situation of prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on their non-compliance with the prison regulations, and the appropriate punishment is applied. Okay. Maybe I just suck at being a judge, but I feel like I've gotten nowhere. Alright. Oh, he's the cleaner. Okay. Can you provide information about the behavior of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement? The prisoner lifted the tray placed in front of him and threw it on the floor, sir. Afterwards, he started yelling, "Hunger strike, revolt, don't be a herd, hunger strike." What? Okay, none of that was mentioned anywhere. What was the psychological condition of the prisoner before being sentenced to solitary confinement? There was no noticeable or unusual change in his general mood before. However, I can say that he exhibited more tense behavior after solitary confinement. Perhaps he succumbed to a desire for revenge. Oh, well, that's not good. Earlier, you mentioned the prisoner's behavior inciting a revolt. Was his behavior supported by other prisoners, or do you think it was a planned protest as a group? No, Your Honor. It was just watched in astonishment by everyone. Some were indifferent and some just laughed. There is no evidence that he planned this with others. In my opinion, it was a spontaneous development outburst of personal anger. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cleaner Guy. Sorry I didn't catch your name. Dude, I really am the worst judge ever. Alright, you are the manager. Do they have managers in prison? Okay. What do you know about the situation of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement? Prisoner's behavior was evaluated according to the prison regulations and acted upon in accordance with the law, sir. Okay, you've all been saying that. Can you tell me what the regulations are? Was there any situation or disproportionate intervention that would negatively affect the prisoner's psychology? Frankly, there is no evidence of such a thing, sir. To maintain order, the regulations stipulated by the law were followed. Again, I don't know what your gosh dang stipulations are. What are your thoughts on the prisoner's allegations? Your Honor, prisoners sometimes exhibit such behavior to escape from their environment. Since I am not fully informed about the events in the current case, it would be ethical for me to make a definitive statement. Yeah, I still feel like I'm nowhere. I'm literally nowhere. Okay, well this one I'm probably gonna mess up too. Okay, so everyone was heard. Let's go back to the case file. So, conditions. So I'm guessing this is like 6 or 8 things that you can't do, and if you do them, you go to solitary confinement. Which, if that's true, then he did this one. They're saying that, he tried to start a riot, and he jeopardized his personal, I guess he didn't jeopardize his safety. But he did 8 by doing 4 for, like, what did they say? 3 or more days? Okay. So, because he kept going on a strike, he went to the infirmary and was sentenced to solitary confinement. Alright, well, I have literally nothing else to go off of, so we're just gonna make a decision. I really am like the worst possible judge. What is you know, I don't I don't know what their stipulations are. They keep saying regulations and stipulations, so congratulations. Okay. Oh, what the heck is this? The public is demanding an increase in penalties for crimes such as murder and theft. What are your thoughts? We should take public's demands into consideration. Our laws are quite good for now. I don't know what the laws are. So, sure, we'll take it into consideration. I don't know what the laws are in the game, but that was episode 3. I'm a little. Oh, God. Oh, this is. I thought somebody was like getting buried. It's about like it's a land dispute. I feel like I also messed that one up, but we'll see when we film episode 4, which is a land dispute apparently. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get there. I will see you guys then.